It's time to make dinner. It's been raining all day, so I feel like making one of my favorite comfort foods, meatloaf. I want to share with you my family favorite recipe, so come watch. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Comforts of Home TV. I'm Neva. How about some comfort food for dinner tonight? Meatloaf. I'm going to be using a special recipe that my mom found years ago. It's called Truck Stop Restaurant Meatloaf, and it's really delicious, easy to make, and I'm just really excited to share it with you. So let's get into it. So, Truck Stop Restaurant Meatloaf. I've been enjoying this recipe ever since I was a little girl. My mom found it, I think, in a magazine or something years ago, and it's so delicious, simple, easy to make, and I think it's nostalgic for us. Meatloaf, something we've always had as a little kid, and so I'm so excited to share this with you. So the first step we'll do is we're going to take one sleeve of saltine crackers, and I like to leave it in the bag, and all you need to do is just crush it with your fingers. Just kind of gently do like this. Oh, and that just gets them mostly crushed up. It's okay if they're not perfectly ground too much. Okay, and when we're done doing this, we'll add it to the bowl. And this is really the special ingredient that sets it apart, is you take 1 can, and I always find this in Campbell soup, of a vegetable soup mix. And it's the one where it has the little alphabet letters in it, and that is really my favorite part. That is so delicious. So we take 1 can of Campbell's vegetable soup, condensed soup, and this is what makes it so moist, and I think adds so much wonderful flavor to it. So we always like to keep a can of the Campbell's vegetable soup on hand so we can be ready to make meatloaf. And then next we're going to add 2 eggs already beaten. And 1 can, 8-ounce of tomato sauce. So just plain tomato sauce, 8 ounces, we add to our bowl. And this is so great because you just couldn't be easier. Just dump the ingredients into the bowl and mix. And then put it in the oven, right? Next ingredient, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire. That always adds so much flavor to any beef recipe. I love the Worcestershire. Okay, so now I'll mix this together. And I like to mix all these ingredients, get these mixed together first before I add the meat. Just seems to leave the meat more tender. When you overmix the ground beef, it can make it kind of tough. So I like to just get this mixed up with the egg and moisten the crackers, and then I mix this in to the meat. Now 2 pounds of ground meat, and I like to use the 93% lean. So we're going to add our 2 pounds of ground beef. And really, this is with washed hands. You just kind of have to do this by hand, I think is really the best way. You could try to use a spoon, but I like to use my hands. I can get a feel for how incorporated everything is. So this is the messy part, but I think it's worth it. And meatloaf's really great. It's just one of those nostalgic foods that I think we all like to enjoy. Really became popular during the Depression time when people were having to have their meat go further. And so they would add crackers, breadcrumbs, in the can of soup, actually, also. as a way to add moisture and some vegetables so you can have your meat go farther. And turns out it's really delicious. Okay, then after I get this mixed up, we'll put it in the pan. Okay, into our pan, this 9x13 seems to work nice. It holds in as it cooks. And I just love the potato bits and the peas, the corn, and of course the little vegetable noodles, alphabet noodles in it. I think that was always so fun. Just such a fun little surprise into the meatloaf. So we're just gonna make it about 5 inches wide and stretch it all the way to the ends. Try to make it as pretty as possible. And then we're going to top this with the final ingredient, which is a 1/2 cup of ketchup. So here's our 1/2 cup of ketchup. And you do go ahead and just put this on the top. And this will make a really delicious glaze as it cooks. Okay, so glaze is on top, ready to go into the oven. Oh, it looks great. I love how the glaze turned out, just cooked perfectly. And this cooked for 45 minutes in a 400-degree oven. I can't wait to put it on our plates with our sides. Okay, now dinner's ready.
Wow, sweetie, this looks delicious. You know, this is one of my favorite meals. I just think it looks good and tastes even better.
Nostalgic meatloaf. Well, let's dig in. Love it with mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes and corn and green beans. That's
truck stop restaurant meatloaf.
so good. Just delicious.
And you remember when I first made this for you, that you never had it with the vegetable soup inside of it, right?
No, I never even liked meatloaf before you did.
Well, try the recipe out. It's really easy and it's always been a winner.
Yep. Just delicious.
Well, have a blessed day and like and subscribe and leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Take care. Bye.